Welcome to the GU Club Guide to GSBA Funding Request. Each year, the Gonzaga Student Body Association, or GSBA, allocates funds to Gonzaga's clubs and organizations which have demonstrated commensurate need, financial stability, and noticeable efforts to acquire funds independently via dues or fundraising. Led at large by the Senate Finance Committee, representatives will review club and organization applications for funding and determine A, if funds will be allocated, and B, to what extent. As the GSBA Senate is an annually elected body of representatives, the conditions, policies, and terms of allocation are subject to change annually. Therefore, clubs and organizations are discouraged from anticipating or budgeting for GSBA allocations. The standard amount for GSBA funding is $3,000 annually and an additional $3,000 for club sports attending national competitions. Why choose GSBA funding? GSBA funding is an excellent resource for clubs and organizations which, despite efforts to stabilize a budget, need additional funds. For student groups diligently working to minimize member expenses, advance in competitive athletics, or host new extensive university programs, GSBA funding is a great opportunity. To request GSBA funding, student groups do the following: log into its activities, find your student group and organizations, select the Finance tab, select Funding Request, and populate the form as instructed. It is extremely important that student groups be precise, specific, and highly detailed in their description of need. GSBA funding is competitive and minimally awarded. Groups should itemize expenses, justify need, and describe prior fundraising efforts. Student groups should receive a response to the request within 2 to 3 weeks of submission. The GSBA funding process takes 2 to 3 weeks to award, meaning that student groups would not have access to the funds for at least 3 weeks. The following is a recommended timeline, though student groups should contact the GSBA Director of Finance to ensure a timely submission. Requests for travel should be submitted 10 to 12 weeks prior to departure. Requests for materials should be submitted 5 to 6 weeks prior to delivery. Requests for programming support should be submitted 3 to 4 weeks prior to spending. The following students and staff are excellent resources for student groups. Contact the GSBA Director of Finance with questions about timelines, how to spend allocated funds, and your activity requests. Contact the GSBA Speaker of the Senate to learn what changes the Senate Finance Committee has made to allocation policy, to inquire about funding values, and to learn what will or will not be funded. Contact the Associate Director of the Center for Student Involvement with questions about GSBA funding processes and policies. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please contact the Center for Student Involvement.